Jai Gurudev. Aren't we so lucky to be invited? Aren't we? Yes. Because we were passionate to be here. Absolute thank you to Jai Gurudev, to Bhanu Didi, our very, very loving sister, most loving, beautiful sister, a pure soul, a very pure soul. And my most eminent sisters from across India and overseas. Friends, I have three things as I thought sitting with you to share. I started to ask myself, when did passion, what kind of passion and when did passion come in my life? I start to ask. Rather than define passion, I start to ask, how did passion come? How did I recognize my own passion? And I remembered that when I was just 9 years old, there was a neighborhood which had a domestic fight. In that domestic fight, the woman was a victim. And she was asking for money from her husband. And the husband obviously was denying her monthly due. So and I saw it as a young girl. And I held the man as a young girl, I held him. And I asked him, why are you beating her? And she says, she's asking for money. So I said, then why is she asking for money? Because she's not working outside the home. You're the one who's working out inside the home. You're the one who's looking after the children. It's your duty to provide for her. And he looked at bigger eyes on me. Who's this young girl asking? That is when I recognized the passion within me. The passion within me was, I will not tolerate injustice. It just evolved. Friends, from that day onwards, I did not look back. I didn't know the word Gurudev, it was passion. But it was fight against injustice. And number two, to be self-reliant. The passion for me as a woman was, I have to be self-reliant, that no stage do I say, I need something. I will be a giver in my life and not be a taker. So this is how the passion evolved. So what I would like to say, I do not know. In fact, that is the best where Gurudev can tell us, when do we recognize this passion? What makes us recognize our passion? Is there an age to recognize a passion? Is there a situation to recognize passion? Is it nurtured? Is it by born? Are you born with it? Or can you identify and nurture it? These are all remarkable questions. Those of you who are going to stay back in the evening satsang, let's ask and blast Gurudev with this. In fact, I wish I could stay back for the day to actually have these questions, but I will find another opportunity when Gurudev will give me this opportunity, which he's promised to. I know Gurudev has very special feelings for me, and he's very caring about me. I do believe me, but he's caring for all of us. That's the secret. But see, he makes you feel special all the time. That's his passion. That's his passion. He and Bhanu Didi both make us feel so special, so loved, so cared. That's the passion of Art of Living. My second thing is, passion for me is loving what you do and never tired of it. Never get tired of it. Now, you're right. Who was that? Do it again. You made us all enjoy. Now, from that incidence of my childhood, I never ever got tired of learning, never got tired of working, never got tired of hard work, because now the goal was very clear without being reminded. My parents never had to remind me, do your homework. My parents never had to remind me, go play and work hard. They never reminded me that it's hard, you have to do extra. It was all inborn, because the passion within me now, was I born with it? Or did it hit me? I do not know. But I think that's where samskaras come. That's where your past becomes present. That's why probably something's triggered in the past, I do believe, which has come forward in your fresh life. I think it's come this way in my life by being gifted with very passionate mother, very passionate father. When Bhanu Didi wrote this article in her speaking tree in Times of India, which I also read 2 days ago, she talked about a mother when she wanted the child to be brought into the forefront and then be a support to the child even when she's walking the ramp. I remember the same way was my mother. My mother never worked outside the home, but she made sure that all her 4 daughters work outside, learn to be self-reliant. She didn't want us to repeat ever what she was going through, where she had to ask my father to provide for in the family because she was not working out. But the kind of passion she had to bring us up, the way she nurtured us, fed us, ensured that we achieved what we are setting out to achieve. To me, my mother was one of the most passionate women I could have ever come across in my life, ever. Since you're not talking about the men, I won't tell you about my father. But I must tell you, he too was a very passionate father, because he was a born tennis player, and we made sure we all become tennis champions, and which we did. So his passion was sports, and my mother's passion was education. And that's how 2 streams went very strongly in my life, and that is what took me to the Indian Police Service. Without education and sports and the outdoor at that time and the kind of visibility I had, I could not have made it into a male world back in 1972. See, it was 2 times reinforcement. And when any child gets twice passion from mother, from father, and then within, I think life is made. Life is always dedicated to all that you want to set out to achieve. So I think passion for me is what you love doing. I have lived my life in policing with boots on. I've slept with boots on when we had the issues of communal riots or many other issues. But it never bothered me that I'm sleeping with my boots on. I do remember I'd just been married. I'll tell you about the passion. I'm giving you instances only which come back to me because you gave me this subject. I was allocated to Punjab police. The minister from Punjab is gone. But Punjab policing is very tough. I'm not saying brutal, okay? It's very tough. It's very rough. So I was doing state police training in Punjab police. And those, I don't know, they get sadistic pleasure. They made us ride the horses on bareback. They took away every blanket, every smoothness so they made us ride bareback. And bareback, when you ride a horse, you know what happens? You know what happens? You know what happens? I was bruised, and I was just recently married, and I went home to meet my family, and now how do I walk? So I had to straighten myself a lot. It was very painful because all this was blue, because I'd rubbed against the skin of and somewhere I think my mother-in-law heard that I was somewhere having some pain. She says, she said in Hindi, "Itna pain hai to chhod dena." So my mother-in-law said, "Where's the need for you to suffer? You forget it, leave it." I said, "No, that's the beauty of this work." I mean, I thereafter decided never, ever even express pain from the service when you come back home, because the family might just say, "Leave it." So I was a non-complaining person all my life. That's another thing what passion does. It never, ever makes you complain. You remain self-driven. You remain self-driven. And that's what drives you. So second thing which I have in mind I thought I'd share with you, it's self-nurtured, it's self-driven, and then it makes you happy. Now, my mother was not a woman who would be the woman of the year, but she was certainly the mother for me, mother of the world for us, because she was happy with what she was doing. For me, passion is realized. Passion is not position-linked. Passion is happiness-linked. You can achieve happiness in whatever you want. Even if doing nothing, sitting silent, and that is what makes you happy, I think you've achieved the goal of passion. That's how I think. So I won't rate ourselves that those are women, passionate women, successful, who made it big visibly. No, there are millions and millions, and I agree with Bhanu Didi, millions of millions invisible women today in the rural areas, in urban areas, who are creating the next generation most selflessly, like my mother did. And the last thing I wanted to share is that passionate women are open books. They're visible, they're known, their response is known, and they are a threat to the society, and they are an asset to the society. They're both passionate women, open books, visible, outspoken, daring, willing to be even martyrs, willing to be martyrs, are big threat to society and big asset to the society. Who are the asset to? The invisible, the voiceless, the weak, the underprivileged. They are an asset to the society, and I must tell you, they are the majority. And they're a threat to whom? To the vested interests, to the corrupt, to those people who are using the society for themselves. And therefore, there's a constant fight between a passionate woman who's an open book and vested interest. And guess what? I fight it every day. I fight this every day. I don't fight for the sake of fighting. Passionate women don't fight for the sake of fighting. They fight to live their passion because they've given their life, dedicated their life for a cause, for a reason. And they remain self-driven. So nothing holds them back. So the point is, what I wanted to say, passionate is not qualitatively or quantitative. Passion is you. Passion is within you. Passion is the joy within you, the happiness within you. Just find what makes you happy, what makes you brilliant, what makes you expand the areas of influence. Like, for instance, my passion became, in one word, empowering others. So when my passion became empowering others, I had to empower myself every day, financially, mentally, psychologically, physically, environmentally. For what? For what? To share empowerment. That is where my first story goes, where I realized I have to be in a position to fight injustice by empowering myself. So friends, passionate women are those who not only empower themselves, they empower themselves to empower others. Thank you once again for inviting me.